Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to take a look at curses and if you may have one.
And we have a viewer question from Liz about her life purpose.
And we're going to take a quick look at Tibetan Singing Bowls. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Markus Thorndike.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here, you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Markus is a master hand analyst and life purpose consultant. He is the author of the upcoming book, Leap, the Global Campaign for Life, Love, and the Achievement of Happiness for All.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years and is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row. He is the recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
The whole idea that there can be curses has, it's so popularized that everyone is kind of like a little bit freaked out or afraid by them. But the idea that we can actually break the curse, that we have positive energy to control the outcome of that possible bad mojo energy, is to me what makes it interesting and fascinating. I don't care if someone's cursing me. I want to know how to break that curse.
Absolutely. And I've always believed that our positive, our good energies is like 100 times more powerful than anything that negative that might come our way. So when a negative energy comes towards us, what we want to watch for is if we go, oh no, this horrible thing is happening to me. Oh, we're feeding the curse right there and then. But if we can shift it to, oh, what can I do about this curse? And how can I do it so it doesn't cause harm to anyone? That's what we want to begin working on.
It may be the most common movie theme ever. It's the story of someone who is cursed. From movies like The Mummy's Curse, Curse of the Cat People, The Curse, Curse of the Black Widow, Cursed, The Curse of Frankenstein, the list goes on and on. And according to legend, even objects can be cursed. Is the Hope Diamond cursed? Are you? My witchy friends say that curses are very real. In many parts of the world, there are people who make their living taking money to curse someone. Those types of curses usually result in sickness and occasionally death. The magic involved in a curse is very real and very dark. Before you get too worried though, remember that curses are far less common than you might think, especially in the US. The truth is that magic, which is what is used to lay a curse, doesn't last very long. It may be long enough, maybe, to disrupt someone's life. But for a curse to last a lifetime, the curse would need to be renewed constantly and would not and could not outlive the person who created the curse. People from all over the world have told me that they feel that they've been cursed. These people feel under attack from unseen forces. But rather than being the victim of a curse, these people may be under a psychic attack. Think of a psychic attack as a pale version of a curse. Most psychic attacks are unconscious. This happens when one person is so obsessed with dislike for another that they are constantly experiencing hostile feelings and thoughts, so powerful that they take on a life of their own. These toxic energies will travel to the person they were directed at and create a miasma of negativity that can have real consequences for their relationships, work, health, and emotional stability. Most of us don't hate anyone that much, and most of us don't inspire that much hatred, though most neo-pagan witches practice a form of white witchcraft, which is governed by strong ethical boundaries that preclude such negative practices as curses. But like in most groups, there may be a small few who do practice the dark arts. Sometimes a magical practitioner will fight with another and try to find some kind of justification to launch an intentional psychic attack. And thank the universe, there are usually far fewer attackers than people who feel they are being attacked. If you feel attacked, first examine your situation to find out why you might feel that you deserve such an attack. You may be unconsciously attacking your attacker. If you stop, the problems may stop too. It can be that simple. There is something called the law of return. Simply put, what you send out comes back to you. If you remain convinced that you are under attack, you can always use a return candle. A return candle is usually black or gray on the outside, and it has a red core on the inside. These have become harder to find, but you can check your local metaphysical store and see if they have one. In a pinch, you can stack a black candle on top of a smaller red one and run the wick through both of them. As the black candle burns down, it will melt over and cover the red one. Burn the candle and focus on your intention to send back whatever negativity has been directed your way. Focus on a tight loop of return and cut yourself out of it so the negative energy won't touch you anymore. The kindest thing you can do is to add an intention that the energy be rendered harmless by the time it returns to the sender. You might also add a gentle lesson to accompany the return. Yes, if a curse can be created, it can be nullified, and it may be easier than you think. And getting rid of that curse is important in a real interpersonal way because, most of us, we don't curse other people per se, but we do curse ourselves. And that happens after we've had half a chocolate cake and we're standing in front of the mirror trying to get dressed in the morning, and we're not very happy with our own performance. And these kind of negative thought forms actually do affect us. And so if we're conscious of this negative thought form, we can then actively change it in our awareness at the time it happens and break that energetic curse. Because in magic, thoughts are things. And when you have a negative thought form, it coalesces in the ethereal and then goes out from you to do its business. And that's why you want to be careful.
Oh, definitely. It even feeds on itself, Oh no, I just had a negative thought form about myself. And then it goes on and on from there, building and building. But what I found is you have a negative thought form and you go, oh, look at silly me. I just had this negative thought form. And you don't have to take it personally, what you just did. And you start playing with those negativity and it dissolves it. Just like it then works externally with the curses that affect us externally. When they come at us, we can go, oh, there's this negative energy coming my way. Now, how can I be responsible for it? Rather than, oh no, this horrible thing is happening to me. And we can learn what to do with it. We can, like your example of the candle, or in my own life, where when someone has caused me harm, I'll treat it like an Aikido move. Like, they didn't really mean to cause me harm. They were just attacking their mother or their father from when they were 3 years old. And then it doesn't actually hit me anymore.
Absolutely. Now, and it's really true, because when they're attacking you, most often they're attacking an aspect of themselves they're being so unhappy with. Though, to be all love and light is like a great thing, and all us light workers really try to do that all the time. Now, we all admit it's easy to do it with strangers, people we don't care about.
Curses are the expression of desire of harm to come to a particular person or group. Anyone can lay a curse on anyone else. Has anyone ever shouted an obscenity at you, meaning you ill will, or vice versa? That is a curse. Curses can be considered karmic, the difficult challenges or patterns in our lives that repeat again and again and again, causing us suffering. Sometimes in these cases, we literally have cursed ourselves from one lifetime into another. You may even be cursing yourself now. If you ever yell or scream, internally or externally, at yourself for what a bad person you are or how terrible a person you are, you literally are cursing yourself. Sometimes other people, in this life or in other lifetimes, can curse us. If a new and challenging pattern comes into your life, suddenly and without warning, this might be the case. But whether we cursed ourselves in another lifetime or this one, or whether someone else has cursed us, it is our job to repair the damage. I feel that the key to resolving any spiritual difficulty, including curses, is to find the truth, the lesson that we need to learn. Drawing from our last show on karma, a curse is simply the universe telling us that it is our turn to help it in balancing something. I believe that what gives any curse genuine power over us is not in how we may have been cursed, but rather in seeing how we ourselves have acted. Don't forget your other karmic lifetimes when you consider that. You are much larger than you think you are. You are thousands of lifetimes happening concurrently. And if you feel deep into yourself deeply enough, I believe you can find the energetic truth of how you, or even another you, may have treated the person who cursed you. Everything balances out. So in the end, one can say that it is we who brought the curse ultimately upon ourselves as a balancing force to our own, perhaps harmful actions in this lifetime or another. The curse is our karma at work. So once we can see that we ourselves are ultimately the energetic source of any curse laid upon us, we then can gain power over that curse. There are, of course, techniques to use to deal with curses laid upon by others. But I believe that what will make these techniques have the greatest power is by taking personal responsibility for the curse. It is yours, and ultimately, you helped create it. Thus, you have the power to bring an end to it as well. A key part of ending negative patterns in our lives, including curses, is the loving force of forgiveness. When we can forgive the person who cursed us, this gives us great power. When we can accept the painful pattern as being a part of our lives, not necessarily as something we must continue with, but still something in the here and now that we are meant to learn from and to take responsibility for, it then shifts our perspective and it removes our opposition to it. When you cease to be reactive to it, the curse will have no way to hold on to you any longer, and you will have greater choice with what to do. You will have greater perspective and greater freedom. Even if the pattern continues in your life, you will no longer feel cursed by it.
I had somebody who was like throwing curses at me and negative energy, and it was like not fun or pleasant or anything. And I had a dream. I had a dream of something I was supposed to do. And so I ran my dream by my magical Wiccan friends. Now, my Wiccan friends are all white magic practitioners. That's what they do. They do not do anything dark. And so part of this dream was to take the photo of the person, wrap it around a large nail, actually a real giant nail, and throw it into the bay. Now, I asked my Wiccan friends what this would do, and they gave me some instructions with that. And what it was simply was a binding spell, you could say, because it was no harm to yourself and no harm to others. And so my intent was for this to stop, this person to stop harming themselves and harming others. And that kind of magic, that kind of white magic, I think is okay to do.
Absolutely. In fact, I think it's really kind of the key when you look at whatever harm is coming to you, is to find that way to treat that person that is causing you harm with respect and try to neutralize that energy so that no one is harmed in the experience. By doing so, you gain power over the curses in your lives.
And now we go to Reno, Nevada for the Reno Psychic Fair and a quick look at Tibetan Singing Bowls.
We are at the Reno Psychic Fair today, where there's all these healers and artists and vendors. And I am right now with Ginger Winters, who works with Tibetan Singing Bowls. Ginger's been playing and working with these bowls since she was 8 years old. And she's been in love and has a passion for the Tibetan culture since that time.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She recently retired from her work as a graphic designer and instructor and has chosen to focus on her passion for these bowls. Ginger, what is it about these bowls that is so healing for people and so helpful to them? Why have you been so drawn?
Well, definitely the sound. You know, the Tibetan singing bowls are unique. They have a very strong vibration. They have a beautiful tone. And as you play the bowls, you feel that vibration through your body. And it's very relaxing, very healing.
That's so great. Mm-hmm. It's always good to feel more relaxed, I can tell you that. So they've been around for thousands of years.
Yes.
I noticed that there's large bowls here and we have small ones too. What are some of the differences between them?
Well, there's different types of bowls. Some of the bowls are very large and bowl-shaped, and they might be used for utilitarian purposes as well as for healing or meditation. They're used in the monasteries for meditation, but they're also used in people's homes. They use them for many different purposes.
And what are some of those purposes?
Well, some of the smaller bowls like these might be used for actually eating out of sometimes. You know, it's not something that we would want to eat out of, but the Tibetans have used them for many different purposes for many years. And the bowls, when you tone them, have so many different tones that people will use them for a lot lot of different healing purposes as well.
Can you obtain different tones from the same bowl?
Yes, you can. There's basically a male and female tone, lots of different overtones. So each bowl has one predominant tone, but as you're playing the bowl, you'll find that there are many different harmonic overtones that you'll hear as well.
Do you have ways, do you recommend people that they pick a particular tone based upon their interests? How would they go about doing that?
Well, it's pretty much how it feels, how every person individually feels about their bowl. So, when you first pick up a bowl and listen to it, it depends on how it feels in your hands and how that sound is for you.
Wow, great. Now I noticed also here we have a few other bowls that look a little different. They look a little bit more modern, is that true?
Yes, some of the bowls are modern. These are antique bowls. The antique bowls, you can tell that they're antique. You can see the hammering. They're made with anywhere from 7 to 13 different metals.
Really?
And so you'll see different coloration. And in the older bowls, you'll see a lot of modeling and different, like copper coming through, or some of the different metals. And the newer bowls will be much more, refined looking. They don't have that antique quality to them.
Now, when someone gets a bowl from you, is there any recommendations you have for what they might do with them, how they might practice with them to help relax themselves, to help open themselves to spirit, whatever it might, what would you recommend?
Well, it's very important to play your bowl every day. Listen to your bowl all the time. If you're feeling stressed out, or if something's bothering you, you can just play your bowl and let it relax you. And it's very important to connect with your bowl. A bowl actually connects with your energy. And so as you're playing your bowl, you'll notice that the bowls become more responsive to your playing. You also become better at playing because you practice more, actually. And then a lot of people find that they want different tones too. You might start with a higher toned bowl and want to go to a deeper toned bowl.
Wow. And do some people, like, I would imagine I might want 3 or 4 of them and have a few friends come over. Do you ever do that?
The friends always want to play your bowls. Yeah, they're very popular, and your friends are, they would love to play with them.
Well, that sounds great. Wow. So Ginger, it's been wonderful being with you. Thank you so much for having us. Now I'd like to ask if people want to contact you about these bowls or about obtaining these bowls from you, how might they go about doing that?
Well, I do have a website, and you can hear the bowls on the website. There are sound bites. The website is nurturingthedivine.com. You can also find me through TibetanSingingBowls.com.
Great. So TibetanSingingBowls.com.
Yes.
Great. So that information will be available to you at the end of this segment or at the end of this show. Ginger, it has been such a pleasure to be with you and to introduce us to the Tibetan bowls. Thank you so much. I just love working with that vendor about those bowls. I actually worked with one of those bowls and moved it around, and I even have one of those at home, and I do that regularly. And as I do, I can feel the sound and the frequency filling my body and filling and opening all of my chakras up, and it balances me and centers me in such a beautiful way. It's a real powerful, and I'm going to use the word technology for us today.
Well, we know that sound really does affect us. And when you have something that creates this beautiful resonance, now I actually have a bowl also at home that I use for a meditation. And it is so lovely. It has such a gorgeous tone, and you learn how to really make it sing and vibrate. And that really, I think, affects you in a good way and aids in all the good things we want for ourselves.
I really want to then just say, you have a bowl, I have a bowl. I invite you all to find a bowl for yourself and practice with one of those bowls and see what it can do in your own life. And now we have a viewer question from Liz about her life purpose.
Liz, I am so glad you're here with us on set. This is so fantastic. Now, I've mixed up the cards, you've mixed up the cards. I've asked my guides to come in, I've asked your guides to come in. And we're going to be looking at seeing if there is an answer to your question. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, state your question for us.
What is my life purpose? Why am I here?
You know, that's a big question for like 3 minutes or less. I'm just going to say right off the bat. But I do want to tell you everything that is here. The first thing I want you to know is that you have charisma in your number one position, and it's crossed with virtue. And so I want to remind you that you have a lot of ability to be charming and persuasive and indeed charismatic, as your guides say here. Now, you're lovely, you're a beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
Though I got to tell you, when someone hurts you and pisses you off, oh my God, you remember like forever. It's hard for you to let go of that. So you know what I'm going to say now. It's going to behoove you to work on ways to let go of that better. You're just too lovely to hang on to any of other people's junk.
Thank you.
Now the universe is really, really open to you right now. So where you put your energy and intent and direction, you're going to find synchronicity and luck are going to open up for you. So you're going to get a lot of great input there. Also, this lifetime for you, part of your life purpose is about knowledge. So that's like school, certification, degrees, workshops, all of that stuff together. So you definitely want to take a look at that for you going forward. I feel it's going to be part of your life forever. I want to remind you also, don't make mountains out of molehills. Now, I want to say this nicely, not that you would do that, just saying, but try to let the small things stay small. And like that one book says, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. You want to kind of keep that in mind as you go forward. The universe is going to bring to you lots of people who are wonderful, people who are amazing, people who are going to be helpful to you in how you go forward. Now, you tend to be very traditional as a person, and your own desires tend to be traditional. And you know, most people are very traditional in how they go forward, but for you, that's an important factor of how you go forward in this lifetime. So to me, you're not going to join Circus du Soleil and be swinging from a rope. You're going to have a much more traditional path as you go forward. If you use this time, especially in your younger years, to rid yourself of ideas that contain pain, and indeed pain from the past, especially around family, you're going to find that releases you for an amazing future for yourself. At this time, I feel, your guides feel, as I would interpret this in my best of my ability for you, what they say in my head, what they show me on the table, is that you need to actually let go of the past, heal the past, because you have such a great future. Now, healing is always going to be important for all of us. But for you, it's especially important in how you go forward. I want to say your purpose, at least as I'm seeing it right now, are the things we covered, but in a nutshell, to let go of the past, heal the past, because your future is so bright that you don't want any of that old baggage hanging around. Great job, Liz. Great question.
Thank you.
So Liz, you have a question about your life purpose.
Yes.
Well, as a life purpose consultant, I think you've come to the right place. So let's take I've already in advance taken a look at your fingerprints, which actually reveal to me the overall nature of your life purpose. Your life purpose in the overview macro is about creative business. It's about offering, doing business, enterprise. Business is you want to expand that word. Turn it into, it could be an organization, it could be a big project, it could be but it's about planning and making things happen in the world. And it's about implementation and following the rules and structures that need to be put in place to manifest something. Okay. All right, and then it's doing so in a creative fashion. Now, expanding it a little bit further, we're going to bring in one of your gift markings, which is this long headline you have that goes all the way to the end of the hand. That means you're here to do a creative business project that is big, complicated, and important. So in this big, complicated, important project, big is like, well, it's like winning the Super Bowl or winning the World Cup. That's big, right? But winning the Super Bowl actually isn't that important, you know? It doesn't change the world. Maybe a few people's lives, but not millions of people. Important would be like raising children. Raising children is important, but again, that's not very big. Everyone does it, you know? So we're trying to bring those two elements together. How about taking solar panel technology and making it 10 times more productive? So we get 10 times the bang for the buck. That would be a breakthrough. That would be big and important, and it's going to be very, very complicated to make it happen. All right? So you want to have a project, a creative project that involves all of those things, that takes the big and complex and deduces it down to something that can change the world in a creative fashion. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, one key thing to bring in all of this, your overall life path is about courage. There's a lot of challenges in these hands that it's going to take a lot of courage and a willingness to balance your life appropriately. There's a tendency in your life to do this and do that and do this and do that and be busy all the time. Mm-hmm. And you want to find a way to choose your battles, choose what to work on, and to have enough time to be in your own life, to be in a place of peace, a place of harmony. I would encourage you to practice meditation, to practice other tools that will enable you to feel at harmony within, to find that harmonious place within, to do perhaps yoga or breath work or other things that are going to enable you to feel like you're at home in your body. When you feel at home in your body, within and without, you will find that all of these other things that I've talked about will manifest in your life and become possible. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. What a treat to have Liz with us today. She was just so sweet, and I loved learning about what her life's going to be about. The great challenges she's got in there, but also that capacity for business and creativity. She's really got a great future ahead for her.
And I like too that the elements in our readings, both from her guides and from her poems too, complement each other in such a nice way for her. She really has great energy. I just loved meeting her and loved having her on the show. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you want answered or a topic you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
And you can find me at markusthorndike.us or email me at markus@markusthorndike.us. In the Sacramento area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17. See more info at accesssacramento.org. In the San Francisco Bay Area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channels 23, 28, 29, and 33. And throughout the state of California, you can watch this program on AT&T UVerse Channel 99.
Additional channel listings can be found at betv.org and att-services.net. We're now on iVolve TV, Roku, and selected cable channels throughout the Midwest. You can follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, or YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Markus Thorndike, or Paranormal Insights. And be sure to watch our new show, The Magic Minute, exclusively on YouTube, where you'll see easy-to-use everyday magical techniques to improve your life, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you watch, be sure to click like and subscribe. Please send us your questions and topics,
so we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.